Ooh, you are listening to the Beliefland Experience.
Thank you so much for listening. Once again, this is a second time in one day. Okay, we're going to get right into a second. Well, okay. Let me start by stating this disclaimer. This is not a YouTube page for conspiracy theory. I don't believe in conspiracy theories, and I don't acknowledge them as being factual. I tend to just use the brain cells that the Creator has given me. Therefore, I question everything, at least on this particular podcast. We question everything. No bullshit. And that's it. We say this is a no-fly zone. No bullshit will be flying in these airspaces. So this is a no-fly zone. And once again, this is as it always will be, the Billy Flint Experience. And I am Billy Flint. You're tuning in live here from Germany once again. We did a podcast earlier today, Eastern Central European time. Not Eastern, just Central European time. I don't know why I put that Eastern in there. It's Central European time. So now it's, I don't know, about maybe 2 in the afternoon here in Germany. So if you are tuning in from the States, of course, it's morning time. But we did a podcast earlier today in which we was talking about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, which took place in Pennsylvania over the weekend. And there's been already conspiracy theories online stating that it was a fake or staged assassination attempt on ex-president, now campaigning for a third term for 2024. And this narrative, of course, people are saying again that it was staged. And as we reported earlier, my standpoint is that I don't think it's staged. I think it was in real time. But it's not what a lot of the public is like. The information that is fed to the masses, there's multiple stories being told. So I leave it up to people to do their own research. But as I did my research for the greater part of this morning, what I come across is the actual photographer that was at the rally. And we're going to trying to find it here. Okay, I found it right here. I had to look for it. This is the audio from Doug Mills. He was one of the photographers that captured this magic bullet theory, in which I call the Trump's magic bullet theory. I'm going to play the audio, and after the audio, I'll explain the reason that I coined it the Trump's magic bullet theory. Oh, wait a minute, I lost it again. Okay, I got it right here. Okay, we're going to play the audio from Doug Mills.
I want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Oh, that's not it. Sorry. Wait a minute. Okay, I got it queued up right here. It is just crazy. It's been a crazy Monday. And trying to queue up all this audio. Like I said, we did a podcast earlier about the assassination attempt. But here's the audio for sure from Doug Mills.
It happened so fast, but now I can see it all in slow motion. I never thought I'd ever see an assassination attempt on the president and to be there to photograph it. My name is Doug Mills. I've been covering politics since 1983, and I was yesterday covering President Trump's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. I was taking pictures, and that's when the pops started happening. And I just happened to have my finger on the shutter, and I heard the pops and just kept shooting. I didn't know what I had captured, but when I got to my laptop, I could see that bullet flying behind his head because it's definitely not in the frames right before it, and it's not in afterwards. It's only that one frame, and I was shooting in 8,000th of a second.
Okay, we're going to stop it right there. Okay, as you hear Doug Mills stating that he's been in, I don't know, he didn't really specify whether he was a photographer since the 80s or whether he was a correspondent journalist. It doesn't really necessarily say, but the fact that he given these specifics on how he was able to capture a bullet from an AR-15 rifle shot at a high velocity. This particular photographer is saying that he actually captured the bullet in motion just before it hit Donald Trump's ear or grazed his ear. Now, again, this is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But there is some serious thinking. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe people don't really give a shit about any of this. But my main concern is how anything is put. Well, it shouldn't be a real big shocker into this, but anything that is put out. And I want to say, they tried this on us before. They got away with it. I don't need to speak on it. But when you have certain individuals in the field that these so-called scientists or people in these professions talk about, you have certain people that has been in the field for many, many, many years that know when they start talking technical talk, other individuals know whether or not it's bullshit or whether it's truth, in fact. Okay, so we're going to take it back to what he was saying. Doug Mills, he's captured this bullet in mid-flight with a camera. Now, we're going to say, I don't know what, it doesn't show what type of camera he was using, but just follow me here. Just listen and follow me here because it's going to get crazy. Try to explain it. We're going to say that he had a mid-grade to a top professional camera, knowing what he was saying when he said 1/8,000th of a second. Okay, now I'm going to get to that in a second, but just remember 1/8,000th of a second. Now, that is the shutter speed of a camera. Now, a camera that has that type of setting has to be either almost professional to professional high-end camera bodies. Now, we're in a digital age now, so most cameras are shot digitally. So you can either set it on automatic or you can use the shutter speed along with the aperture, which is manual. But we're not going to get that deep because I don't want to confuse the listeners. So we're going to say he had a mid-grade, and we're going to say Canon, which is a camera brand, which is most professional photographers use, especially journalists, because of the fact that the way that the camera is structured. I'm not going to get into the schematics of that, but we're going to say he had a professional or mid-high-end professional camera. So we're going to say Canon. We're going to say, I don't know, Mach 2. We're going to use that brand as an example. Most high-end cameras can set their shutter speed, which is the curtain that opens to capture the image, they set it at a high speed. They have, especially if it's you're photographing on a sunny day, which means that you have to close down your shutter, or you can open up your aperture, which is the hole or the on the lens of a camera. You have your aperture. You can open that up to let more light in, or close it down to let less light into the camera to expose the image on the digital chip. Okay, so you get me. So he's speaking from a term that most people will not understand what he's talking about when he says 1/8 of a second, 1/8 thousandths of a second. That's a tongue twister. Most individuals don't know anything about that. So when he speaks that jargon or that term, most people just believe that he's technically proficient in what he's talking about, and he's able to tell a truth lie. Now, he probably was there with a camera in his hand. Who said that he took those pictures, or who said that those pictures that he's taken has been doctored? Again, this is not a conspiracy theory. We're just talking about facts because of the fact on me being a photographer, professional photographer over the past 30 years. And I started in photography when cameras were all manual, before autofocus on the lenses came in, and before you had digital chips to shoot a camera in automatic along with the lens. So I come from an age where I had to learn everything manually. So that's what I know what I'm talking about when I talk about shutter speeds and aperture speed. So that's just the basic understanding of how a camera works. So him saying that he captured that bullet at that particular second as he held down the shutter speed, or held down the shutter, and he says that he's kept his finger on the shutter, and the shutter was just taking pictures, one after the other. Even if he had it in sport mode or in action mode, where you have a multiple firing of the shutter, which captured images, the precise moment that a bullet from an AR-15 he will be able to capture in mid-flight before it strikes Donald Trump is impossible. Nearly impossible. Wouldn't say it's impossible, because anything there is a possibility, but we're talking about the information that he provide us from the information on science when it comes to the trajectory of a bullet from AR-15. Now it says something about let's say like low velocity is what it's saying, and that's 2,500 feet per second. I'll read that again. 2,500 feet per second, and that's at low velocity from an AR-15 rifle. He stated that his camera setting, and he only gave you the shutter speed. Again, he didn't give you the aperture setting. He only gave you the shutter speed, and he said it's at 1/8,000 of a second. Now, even if you do your basic mathematics, again, it will be nearly impossible, close to impossible, for him to capture a bullet in mid-flight before it strikes or grazes the ex-president Donald Trump's ear. I would like to state again, this is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But these are just questions that I have to ask. I have to put out into the universe. And as I said, I'll say now, as I said before on the last podcast, is that you just question your reality. You don't have to do that much digging. You don't have to do that much Googling to get basic information. But because of the fact that we're all plugged into the so-called matrix with, these smartphones and laptops, and YouTube content creators putting out all kinds of crazy information out there. It's hard to find the truth in what people are saying. So what I usually say is just do your own research. The information is out there if you do cross references. It's easy to find. So my last word on this. My last word on this Donald Trump assassination attempt. There's more to it than what they put out into the media as far as images, sound bites. But again, if you go back and look at the first video I did, podcast I did maybe a couple hours ago, it's about the whole setup of his Secret Service. It's really not funny. I'm not laughing at what happened. I'm laughing at the images, and you would have to see the video to understand what I'm talking about. The whole outfit of his Secret Service were like bumbling idiots, bumping into each other. It was really. And again, I'm not laughing at the fact that ex-president Donald Trump was, quote unquote, allegedly shot at, and the bullet grazed his ear. I'm not laughing at that. But what I'm laughing at is this information that they're putting out to the masses. They're expecting people to believe this. Once again, we've been taken down this road. Once began. When it began. Once upon a time when it began was in 9/11. I mean, images play a strong part. It plays a strong role in manipulating people's emotions. I don't know. I might be wrong. I'll say it. I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then I will be the first to apologize. But again, there's a lot more that meets the eye in these images that they're putting forward. And there's more to the story. So do your research, people. The information is out there. But once again, thank you so much for joining the Billy Flint Experience. I am your host, Billy Flint. You're coming here live from Germany on a Monday afternoon. Wish everyone a great weekend, or not a great weekend, a great week. And I'm already wishing for a weekend. The week has just started, but wish everyone a great, productive week ahead. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.